I'm winging it. I'm winging it. I don't have a script. I've got some notes, and hopefully that'll work. It's very difficult for me to talk to a camera without people talking back. I'm not used to it. I'm not accustomed to this kind of behavior. Okay, as reserved and private as I am, I like human interaction. I'm not a robot. I'm not the greatest performer. Camera performer, at least. Okay, what's on today's list? Today's list is what people do not understand about introverts and extroverts. A story or a topic that seems to be the cause of much confusion and misinformation. There is a terrible stereotype around these terms that are largely negative because people don't know what the freak they're talking about. And I think some people do, but a large group of people are quite unaware. What are they unaware of, love? They are quite unaware of the essence of what these terms represent and what they mean. First question is, what is an introvert? Wrong. You're wrong. Or maybe you're right. But the general consensus is that they're antisocial and they hate people and they're just like these little hermits that want to live secluded from the world and just to have no interaction with anybody ever. And that's wrong. That's not the truth. That's not the reality. That is not the case. I don't know where this negative stereotype comes from. I mean, the other day I was watching some stupid reality TV show. There was this couple and the girl said that he is such a crazy extrovert, and it took her by surprise because she's an introvert, because people must leave her alone. She doesn't want to be around people. She doesn't like people. That's basically what she said. She doesn't like people because she's an introvert. And everyone laughed and went, that's so funny. But it irritated me because this is what the stereotype is. This is the stupid consensus that introverts don't like people. Jeez, I'm really going on a rant here. Holy smokes. I feel personally attacked. The truth is, an introvert is someone who gains energy through solitude. Okay, so yes, I'm part of this group. We do need some alone time, okay? Some people are more introverted than others. Some people need a little bit more alone time, but it doesn't mean that they're antisocial, okay? They just have a higher need to recharge their social battery after an interaction. Maybe they can interact for a few hours and they can interact well. Doesn't mean they're poor social. Doesn't mean that they can't socialize and interact with others. It doesn't mean that they're socially handicapped. I mean, they can talk. They can have a good conversation. Sometimes some of the best communicators are introverts. I'm one of them. Sometimes. But they will reach a point where they say, look, dude, I've had a good time, but I need to go home and think, relax, just be chilled, be with myself, man. Yeah. Furthermore, beyond just being incredibly skilled at socializing, introverts can also be very empathetic, very caring, really good caretakers. So that stereotype that's around them that they're antisocial just because they need solitude to regain energy, it's terrible. I hate it. Drop it. Drop that stereotype right now. Right now. Then the next question, what is an extrovert? Okay? What is an extrovert? I'm asking you. I don't know. No, I'm not going to say that. An extrovert isn't someone that is necessarily very social, and it isn't someone that is attuned to the emotions and the feelings of others. I personally know some extroverts who are clueless. They're lost. They're like a fart in the wind. They don't know what's going on. They enjoy being around people. It's all good to be around people, but they can't read the room. They can't connect to others on a deeper level. They don't know what the freak they're thinking or feeling, and they're blank. They what is your major malfunction? But once again, that's not all of them. I'm just talking about the stereotype. Not all of them are these happy-go-lucky, outgoing, incredibly social people. Some people are very quiet. Some people are complete weirdos, and they are socially handicapped, but they just enjoy being around others. It's rare. It doesn't happen often, but it's a case. You know, it happens from time to time. So an extrovert is just someone who is energized from being in groups of people or around others. Doesn't even have to be a big group, just around others. And they can be around others for prolonged periods of time, a lot more than an introvert would be, for example. However, extroverts are also only people. They will also reach a point where they have that desire and that need for solitude. I mean, someone can't be extroverted 100% of the time and always be around people. I mean, they also need a little bit of alone time. So even extroverts need a little bit of introversion. The same way introverts need a little bit of extroversion, if that makes sense. Now, obviously, there are exceptions, okay? There are those few cases that are completely or nearly completely extroverted and have to be around others all of the time. I mean, that's problematic. And it's the same with the introverts. There are those weirdos who are just so antisocial that they cannot be around. Oh, it's gross. There are those people that are so antisocial that they cannot be around people at all. You know, they are like psychopaths. You know, but that isn't what an introvert is. Antisocial isn't an introvert. I'm not trying to be harsh or rude, but if someone has to be around someone 100% of the time, or someone has to be alone 100% of the time, there's a problem. They're deranged. There's something that is not right in the head. And that's not to say that if someone is more introverted, that there's a problem, or if someone is more extroverted, there's a problem. You know, there's a scale, you know, it's like that. So it's super introverted, less ambivert, very extroverted, or whatever the case. You get the point, okay? I'm not... Shite. So there's a scale, all right? Some people are more introverted, some people are more extroverted, but that doesn't have to do with their social skills. It has to do with their energy levels. So that isn't the biggest aspect of socializing, whether or not you're an introvert or an extrovert. And it is important to understand the difference, because if you maintain that narrative that people who are extroverted are always happy-go-lucky and always outgoing and social, and the narrative that introverts are antisocial and angry and sad and depressed, it's going to be very difficult for you to navigate the ins and the outs of the social hierarchy. Does that make sense? I remember once at work, I told my colleagues that I was more introverted, and they like blew their minds. They said, "Oh, you're not introverted, you lie, you're so social." And I was like, "What? What are you talking about? Huh? What was I even saying?" The reason it is important to understand the difference is because you would be able to connect with people better if you knew their preferences towards introversion or extroversion. And if you drop that stereotype, you might be able to meet some really nice people on one end of the spectrum or the other. My notes are finished. I didn't even make good notes for this. I just scribbled down some garbage. It's just, I'm so irritated with the misinformation around this topic. So I hope that cleared it up a little bit. I know it wasn't the best analysis. I'm just trying something new. Like I said, I just wrote down some notes. I didn't write a whole script like I usually do. And I'm not very accustomed to talking to the camera. So when I'm not having answers coming back at me, asking me questions, I sometimes tend to miss out on a lot of vital information. So I hope that for the most part, I made sense in this little discussion of mine. And this is a topic that I will continue on in more detail, but in a more interesting way. I'm not just going to analyze introversion versus extroversion. There's actually a whole tree. There's a tree, like a tree with a big root and branches of psychology that I'm really interested in. So later on, if I get better with my articulating skills and better with my writing or my note taking or my expressions or whatever, we'll dive into those videos, because I'd really like to. I think they would be very interesting. I think that would be a lot of fun. Maybe be a little bit more informative about what I'm saying and make sense to a larger audience. But this is more of a, what is this? I don't know. trial run to see what kind of reactions I get and to see how I do, because I don't freaking know what I'm doing. Look at me. Look at my background. There's nothing there. It's just a wall. I don't know what the freak I'm doing. I'm lost. I'm just trying things. So be patient, be forgiving, and be nice to introverts. I don't think I have much else to say. I also want to try and start uploading as often as possible. Maybe, if not every day, every couple of days. Try and build the channel a little bit more. And I understand that I can't always write a script and go into depth and detail. Well, I suppose I could, but I'm not equipped to right now. I don't have the resources. What am I talking about? The point is, there is no point. Be patient with me. Be patient. Be cool. Let things flow, and let's be on good terms, man. Let's have some fun on this channel, and let's grow as a team. Okay, enough nonsense. I'm out. Thanks, guys. Sure, yeah.